And now, Kevin McPherson with your tune in online at 1190thefan.com.
All right, we're back with Kevin McPherson from Sporting Life Arkansas. Great updates so far, but Kevin, you're going to give us a little quick breakdown, kind of a player bio on the 8 newcomers here for the University of Arkansas.
Mike, we've been talking about it the last few shows, move-in days coming up. It's actually this weekend, the 27th, which is Sunday. The next time we're on the air, these guys will be Razorbacks. They'll be on campus. So let's go ahead and kind of honor this time. I mean, we take it for granted. These guys just graduated. They're going to be, not only are they moving in, I mean, they're going to start summer school, get acclimated to the academic part of it and being students. They're going to be going through conditioning. There are basketball-related activities that the NCAA allows through the summer, and they're going to be going through that process. So, really it all starts now for these guys. And so this is a much heralded class. The 6 players that signed in the early period, 2 more players here in the spring after a couple of players transferred. So I have to really think back to the last time Arkansas replaced so many players and brought in such a large class. And, really you go back to the back-to-back national title game teams. They lost a lot of seniors. Then Corliss Williamson came out a year early for the NBA draft. Scotty Thurman made that decision. And so Arkansas had a lot of newcomers. You had McDonald's All-American Derek Hood. You had Pat Bradley. You had Marlon Towns out of Memphis. You had Sunday Adebayo, JUCO All-American. Some people rate him the top JUCO player in the country. Jesse Pate, one of the top JUCO players in the country. Antoine Hall out of Chicago, a big riser, a big leaper out of JUCO. But you had so many guys, freshmen that came in, and junior college players. And this class reminds me of that one, just sheer size. I don't know that the quality and the level of talent is equitable. We don't know that yet until they get on campus and prove that. But man, what a big class! And Arkansas, and like I said, in the November period, you start looking at guys that they started with, and it really started with the trio that played for the Joe Johnson Arkansas Hogs, played together for at least a couple of years. And it starts for me with Isaiah Joe. He was the Gatorade Arkansas Player of the Year, 6'4" shooting guard out of Fort Smith Northside. This is a guy that we know can fill it up. He's got legit NBA range. He's efficient. He's a smart player, an unselfish player. But this past season, he played a lot on the point for a Fort Smith Northside team that graduated a lot of seniors from its championship 7-8 state title team the year before. And it really helped him develop his middle game. That extra time and work to handle the ball and do more with the basketball as an offensive player off the bounce. And so I saw him as the season progressed. Teams would send 2-3 guys at him with a 4th or 5th guy rotating, and he was just beating them up off the bounce, figuring out ways to not only score for himself but facilitate. Just a fantastic player. I've always said he's an underrated defender. I felt like in the state of Arkansas on the high school level, actually an elite defender with his length and quickness, gets a lot of deflections and steals, and just plays a smart brand of basketball. So he's one of these newcomers. Ethan Henderson, final 2017 national rankings. ESPN has him in the top 100 in the country, ranked 89th, a 4-star. By the way, Isaiah Joe was also an ESPN 4-star. But getting back to Ethan Henderson, his ceiling and his upside is grand. I mean, and there are comparisons with Daniel Gafford. He's not as tall, but he's pushing 6'9". He's got great arm length, large hands, very bouncy like Daniel. In fact, I would, if I had to put money on it, who has the higher vertical, I would go with Ethan. Ethan can get up, and he can, he could take off. I've seen him take off from just inside the free throw line. I mean, maybe a toe or a third of a foot and get to the rim and dunk it. But he's a guy that can block shots. He plays well around the basket. Defensively, he's quick enough and agile enough, and he moves his feet low enough to defend out on the floor. We know Arkansas likes to switch on all ball screens. So he's a versatile defender. He's going to have to add strength and weight. He's worked on his mid-range game, but he's a guy that has a very high ceiling. I see him as a 4-year player that if he stays that long, that he's going to have the ability to be a very good player for Arkansas. Desi Seals out of Jonesboro, back-to-back state titles in the 6A, outstanding basketball player. I say he's relentless, but he's tough. He's mentally tough. Bill Ingram of the chairman for the Arkansas Hawks said a couple of years ago, that this guy would probably be college ready then just because of how strong and athletic and how tough he is mentally. But Desi will tell you in a heartbeat. He likes all those adjectives, but he thinks that he's better offensively than he gets credit for. We know he can play defense, lockdown defender, and he's going to go, but he plays bigger than he is. He's 6'2", but he plays like a guy that thinks he's 6'4", 6'5". I see him go up against bigger guards on the Adidas gauntlet and big boy him, take him strong to the basket. He really is a three-point shoot. He's a little streaky from three. He's gotten better there, but he likes to get to the rack, and so he's working on his middle game. He knows he needs to work on that, but he's a solid player. So those are the three Arkansas kids that got on board, committing a year before they actually signed. And then you had the three out-of-state guys that Mike Anderson and his staff brought together right before the early signing period back in November 2017. Reggie Chaney out at Finley Prep by way of Dallas, a 6'7", 6'8" forward who really has a nice game around the basket, feels comfortable. Even though he might be undersized height-wise, he's very quick. And if he catches the ball on the high post or on the wing, he can put the ball on the deck and get by bigger forwards. He's bouncy, quick to the rim. He likes to dunk, gets out in transition, fills a lane, and he'll smash it. So he's a guy that I think really can help Arkansas, especially offensively. He might be the best offensive piece Arkansas brought into the fold at that 4 spot in years. Okay, so keep an eye on him. Keyshawn Embry out of Oklahoma, Midwest City, played at IMG Academy, another basketball school down in Florida this past season. Battled through some shin splints and some injuries, but he is a versatile combo guard. He's good at catch and shoot. One dribble step back. He can go left or right and pull up from three. But what I like about him is he's got dog in his game. When he puts the ball on the floor, 6'2", gets in the paint, he can finish through contact. It looks like he seeks it out, actually. And he has an array of a variety of nice little trick shots he can get up and finish with, but he can also facilitate. So you have to respect that when he puts it on the floor and drives. And on defense, he's a guy that's just scrappy. He's going to stick his nose in and get steals, and he just loves to play basketball. All these guys, that's one thing I see when I watch them, is they like to compete. They love to compete, and Arkansas needs players like that. Jordan Phillips, 6'6", 6'7", small forward wing out of the Dallas area, a guy that didn't play on the major shoe circuits but still hovered around the top 150 in the country in the national prospect rankings. Versatile player, has good shooting skill on the perimeter, strong frame. He's a guy that I think can come in. I'm not going to make a comparison with Darius Hall, but to me, this was the answer. I mean, Arkansas they were trying to add more length and size on the perimeter, and he's in that same mold to me as a guy that, is going to bring some size at that 3 spot. And so I think he can come in and have an impact. And then in the spring, Mason Jones, 6'5", wing, small forward or shooting guard wing out of Connor State, comes from a basketball pedigree. His brother Matt Jones, McDonald's All-American that played at Duke. But Mason is a guy that really spent a year in prep school, then he spent a year at JUCO. He's got 3 years to play. I really like what I see on him in tape. A smart player. He doesn't use a lot of wasted movement or dribbling to get into his three-point look. Very efficient from three. Strong rebounder at 6'5" from the wing. Averaged almost 7 rebounds a game at Connor State. So another player I think Arkansas did well. He committed and signed with Arkansas within a week of Darius Hall and C.J. Jones announcing they were transferring. And then Arkansas wrapped it up just recently. We talked a lot about it. Ibi Ali, 6'10", 235, very athletic, very strong, power forward center, originally from Nigeria. What a journey hoops journey has been. I mean, it's been a gauntlet. But he's at a point where, even though he didn't play this past season after graduating Maumelle High in 2016-17, he worked out with former Hog Sunday Adebayo, who we mentioned a minute ago. Spent the whole year. Baylor came down, offered him. He committed, signed with Baylor a month ago. Somehow got out of his letter of intent and wanted to be a Razorback. So Arkansas just signed him to a letter of intent Monday of last week, just a few days before the final day of the spring signing period wrapped up. So Arkansas's got an 8-player class. Let's not forget Jalen Harris, the transfer that redshirted out of New Mexico that'll be a Hog next year. It'll be his first action. He's been with the team, but he hasn't played yet in games that matter. So he'll be a newcomer. Khalil Garland, we just talked about him. If he gets cleared, play his first basketball at Arkansas. So in total, you've got 10 guys that have never put on that uniform and stepped on the court when the lights came on, when it mattered. And you've got 3 returning players, Dan Gafford, Adriel Bailey, and Gabe Osaboyan. Arkansas does not have a player returning that's hit a 3-point shot. I'm sure there's some other stats we can find for first. Anytime you reload, basically bringing in 10 guys. But the 8 newcomers are all expected to be on campus this weekend, Mike.
So great breakdowns, Kevin, but what does this group offer Arkansas, as a combined team?
Well, Mike, it all starts, first of all, with Dan Gafford. He's the centerpiece. You're talking about a guy projected for the NBA lottery in the draft in a year. It all starts with him, and he's got great length and bounce and can do a lot of things at both ends of the floor to help a team win games. And so it starts there. But these newcomers, I see a lot of good size. Obviously, they're going to be young. They're going to hit some bumps and take some knocks on their head early. But I like this team, and you got 5 guys that were rated inside or really close to that top 150 in the country in 2018. You're getting some experience or some maturity with guys like Ollie and Jones that have been out of high school for a little bit, and so you could start talking like, well, these guys are closer to manhood. They've been out of high school for a minute, so you've got some intriguing parts here. But I see a team that's coming in, newcomers that are athletic and longer than maybe Arkansas's had in the past, and I think in time, long term, this can prove to be a very good that help Arkansas become a better basketball program than we've seen.
Well, I definitely hope you're correct, and looking forward to watching this group of new guys, 10 new faces possibly on the court next year. So looking forward to seeing what they can do for sure. We'll be back after this commercial break. Want to thank Kevin McPherson from Sporting Life Arkansas. Guys, remember, read his articles there at sportinglifearkansas.com. You can see his contributions on hogville.net. And, of course, you can always follow Kevin on Twitter at ARHoopscoop. After the break, we're going to talk a little NBA, NHL action, and more, and a little bit of weird sports news. A former soccer star, well, not exactly following traditional family values, so to speak. All of that next. You're listening to Hog Call right here on 1190. I'm the great Mike.
Hush not, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination.